For everyone watching today, let's look at Akyurek not as a romantic hero frozen in the memory of one unforgettable drama, but as an actor who has recently been repositioning himself inside the streaming era, where Turkish stars are no longer judged only by weekly ratings, but by how well their performances travel across borders, subtitles, dubbing, and completely different audience habits. His 2025 Netflix series Old Money places him in a sharp-class conflict setup. A self-made tycoon named Osman disrupts the protected world of Istanbul's elite, with the story built around money, power, status, and attraction rather than the pure tragedy-driven romance many viewers still associate with his older work. Netflix describes the series as an 8-episode drama starring Akyurek and Asli Enver, created by Merik Asami, and centered on a man who shakes the world of an affluent woman named Nihal. Tuba Büyüküstün, meanwhile, has been moving through a very different kind of screen identity, because another self does not use her as a traditional melodrama heroine waiting for a man, a betrayal, or a revenge plot to define her arc. Netflix presents the series as a story about 3 women arriving in a seaside town and confronting unresolved family trauma, while its second season pushes Ada, Sevgi, and Layla into new personal and professional crises, including Ada taking a major professional risk. That matters because Tuba's recent career has been built less around who is her male partner, and more around whether she can anchor stories about memory, emotional inheritance, female friendship, and private pain without making them feel soft or passive. What makes Engin's recent shift interesting is that Old Money gives him a role closer to social invasion than wounded nobility. Osman is not simply a man in love, he represents a force entering a closed class system, and that gives Engin a different acting problem than the one he faced in Karapara Ask. There, much of his tension came from grief, duty, and moral pressure. Here, the tension comes from ambition, appetite, and the dangerous charm of someone who understands that money is never only money. This is why fan discussion around his newer roles often focuses on whether he is strongest when playing controlled emotional suffering or when playing men who actively disturb the world around them. Tuba's current public image has also been shaped by the global visibility of Another Self, especially after her 2024 Red Sea Festival interview, where she discussed the strength of female stories in Turkish culture and said she was not sure whether there would be a third season. That uncertainty became part of the audience conversation, because fans were not simply asking whether the story would continue, they were asking whether Tuba had found a modern format that matched her maturity as an actress better than classic television ever did. Some viewers praised the series for placing women's inner lives at the center, while others debated its spiritual and therapeutic themes, which made the project more divisive and therefore more useful for analysis than a simple, successful Netflix drama. So when people ask whether Engin and Tuba should reunite on screen, the more interesting answer may be that both have moved into roles that complicate their old image rather than repeat it. Engin is now being tested against class, money, and masculine ambition, while Tuba is being tested against trauma, sisterhood, and emotional excavation, and perhaps that is exactly why audiences still connect them in their imagination, because their separate careers now feel like 2 different answers to the same question: how does a Turkish star survive after becoming iconic? Tell me honestly before you leave today, would you rather see them reunite in a romantic drama, or would you prefer a darker, more adult story where their old chemistry is used against audience expectations?